As the coronavirus continues to spread across the world, creating global havoc, many of the fellow Tibetans are equally concerned about the well-being of our community. Today, in this challenging time, we have the personal physician to His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Chief Medical Officer of Delek Hospital, Dr. Tseten Dorji Sadutsang, with us on Skype to talk about the present scenario in the exiled Tibetan community and to seek advice on precautionary measures to be taken to stay safe. Dr. La, what is the current state of the COVID-19 outbreak in India, and how is the Tibetan community being affected by it?
As of now, the current situation as of today and maybe about an hour ago is that in India we have a total of 1,040 coronavirus cases that were diagnosed, of which the death rate stands at 26 as of today. So the situation as we see it compared to those countries like Italy, France, and the US, apart from China, it seems to be a small number. However, at the same time, unless more case detection is done, more diagnostics are done, we will not know the true picture. But as then compared to the Tibetan situation, I think right now we only have one death, and we only have one who has tested positive in India. So as of now, from my knowledge, the Tibetan numbers are very small. However, these numbers could still rise as more people become symptomatic or more people get tested. So the situation is such that all Tibetans, wherever they are, should report to the district health authorities in case they are symptomatic. And I think our health institutions under the Central Tibetan Administration will play a very important role in being able to filter out these patients and refer them to the appropriate institutions. And also, I think the Tibetans all need to be responsible to be able to report cases that they know of, or if in case they themselves have traveled internationally and are coming within the dates stipulated by the government for reporting. That is very, very important, I think, that this so-called contact tracing is going to be vital in being able to diagnose and report those cases that are possibly coronavirus positive cases.
Speaking about the cases in exiled Tibetan community, could you explain the situation surrounding the case of Tibetan reportedly infected with the virus in Dharamshala, and also about the others in London and Paris who were reportedly infected?
As of now, the person who died last week, he had 5 contacts. And all those 5 contacts are in Dharamsala, and they have been tested last Friday. And the results came out on Saturday showing that all of them were negative. However, they will be retested possibly later, because until the incubation period of 14 days is over, we are not able to say whether they are free of the disease. And the government of India has now, in certain categories, increase the quarantine period from 14 to 28 days. So they will be monitored for another 28 days before they will be declared as being free of coronavirus. So right now, the current situation for Tibetans in India as of now, we know is that there's only one who had tested positive, and that person has passed away. There are no other cases that we have been able to detect as coronavirus positive. As far as the deaths in London, one person who died in London and the other person in France, I have no information as to their contacts and what the situation is there in terms of people who have been in close contact with them.
Right. While everybody is panicked over the rate of speed this disease is spreading, there are considerable number of recovery cases too. Isn't this something that we should all look forward to?
I think so. Of course, but we have to remember that the seriousness of this disease is very much dependent on the age groups. And therefore, in the younger age groups, more than 80-85% only suffer from mild illnesses, so they will definitely get over the illness. It's the older age group, particularly those above 70 years, where the mortality can go as high as 15%. So, which is a very, very high mortality rate. Yeah. So we could get complacent, as has happened in the near future. I mean, in the near recent past, that younger people were beginning to feel invulnerable, which is a wrong attitude. There are young people who have also died. So, irrespective of all age, I think everybody needs to be on their guard. However, we have to stratify groups that are more at higher risk versus those who are at lower risk.
Currently, there are many Tibetan doctors and nurses and health workers actively engaged in service of public health, being at the front line all over the world. What would you like to say to them?
Well, one of my biggest concern was particularly for those Tibetans who are not just only health professionals who are working in the front line, but there are a number of Tibetan older age people also, I would say about 40 years, who are working in nursing homes, who are working in long-term care patients, elders' homes. All of them are at risk. And I just feel that many of the Tibetans who have migrated to the West have chosen a profession, a caring profession, because of their Tibetan background, because of their compassionate, attitudes to people who are in difficult situations. And now this is the time where all of them need to, number one, protect themselves. So they have to make sure that they have adequate personal protection equipment. That is number one, I think. Because if they got ill, they would not be able to do what they need to do and what they want to do. The other thing is that they have to also make sure that their families don't get infected. So that's the second thing that they have to do. And then above all, I think that being Tibetans, I think all of them have, most important of all, the mental courage and the spiritual backing, which is able to make them acquire the courage and the compassion to keep on doing what they are doing. And especially following what His Holiness has recommended for those people who are suffering from this onslaught, whether they have the disease or not, that they should recite whatever mantras that His Holiness has recommended. And I think they need to keep strong and maintain their faith in their own spirituality to give them the courage, because what they need to do, as I said earlier, protect themselves, is the physical part. I think more important is the mental attitude in such situations that will actually be the main factor behind giving them the courage and the strength to continue doing what they are doing for the benefit of all those people who are under their care.
Dr. Tseten, your advice and guidance are the need of the hour. We thank you for your time and thank you for being with Tibet TV. Thank you.